Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Nathan Adams Cars, where we talk about cars and sometimes we show you cars. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video, but I'm not going to actually ask you to do that until the end because I want to see if you really like it or not. So let's make this real. I'm very excited again, like I said, because we're going to talk about a car that's super duper exciting, and I got to see it and drive it in person as opposed to driving it not in person. I meant to say that I saw it in person because I went to the local Hyundai dealership, which is Brown's Leesburg Hyundai. It's local to me, and they were very nice and welcoming, enough to allow me to drive the Veloster N. Now let's talk about what the Veloster N is, because we're going to be able to get into this and really show you all about the car. We're going to show you the exterior, the interior, and also what it's like to drive. But first, I just want to kind of tell you what it is, because some people might not know, and I didn't know a lot about it at all. First of all, what is the N? It's kind of like a separate brand, just how BMW's M division is, and also like Mercedes AMG and Audi's RS models. It's a standalone, separately sold and produced kind of car. I'm not sure how it's produced, but that's how they market it anyway. And it is very special. You see, the Veloster is a cool car. It's a hatchback. It has a 2.0 four-cylinder engine. Which I prefer over something like, say, a 1.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. I like having a little bit larger displacement because I feel like that's better long term. May not be as exciting, but that car does come with 147 horsepower standard, and it starts just under $20,000 at about 19 something. And then you can opt for an automatic 6-speed transmission, not a dual clutch, not a CVT, just a 6-speed automatic, which I think is pretty good, but that's a $1,000 option. So if you're going to start with an automatic Veloster, it's going to be around 150 horsepower, and it's going to be just about $20,000. Now you can go up in performance options and things like that. You get around 200 horsepower if you go for the turbo model, and you get different options and features as you go up those trim levels as well. So that's pretty exciting. And the automatic transmission is a nice option as well. The way that it is, the drivetrain is pretty simple and straightforward, and it really goes along with Hyundai's brand of being more simple and affordable. But again, the Veloster N is kind of a separate thing, just a different type of car. I think some of the features it actually doesn't have because they're really trying to make it like a performance car, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Some of the nice features you would want, maybe it doesn't have. You know, you can check out the trim sheet and kind of see for yourself on the website. They do have a great website for this car. It looks really nice. So the Veloster N starts just under $30,000 at around 28 something, and it has 250 horsepower standard. Now, if you go up to the performance package option, which is the only package you can get on this vehicle, it adds another 25 horsepower. It also adds, from the 18-inch wheels that you get standard on the Veloster N, it gives you 19-inch wheels with summer tires. It also gives you an electronic limited slip differential in the front, and variable valves for the exhaust, so you can change the way the exhaust sounds. So it's really, I think it's a pretty good upgrade for $2,100. It does make it go over that $30,000 mark, but that is a great price for everything you get in the Veloster N with the performance package. Just about $30K, not bad. Really, I wanted to show you guys how it performs, and that's why I'm making this video. So go ahead and check them out. I'll put a link in the description because it was a great experience I had there, just getting my oil changed at the service department, and checking out their car was very nice as well. Another reason I wanted to check out the car is because I've seen that it gets a lot of good reviews, or whether they're good or not, it just gets a lot of reviews. It has a lot of attention right now because it is a hot hatch, and it's cool because it's also the first of the N brand that came out in the US, and it launched with the Veloster model. So that's cool. I wanted to see what is the N brand all about. So without further ado, let's get started. Yes, very nice. Right. Is that a standard on the N line?
No, there's one up. There's the one.
Got it.
250, and then this would be 275.
Sounds like an M3 Performance kind of thing, like the next one up. Yeah. Got it. Very nice. The N brand of the Veloster looks a little different. It has a very distinct style, and it's very basic. I don't know how to say it, but it looks like they definitely just pay attention to the performance and make it look like it's a hot hatch, which is what it is. And that's all that matters to the designers. That's my opinion of it. It has those red pieces there, and I kind of feel like I would prefer to get the red one. If I were to choose one, I would get a red one because I don't like those red contrasting with the black or the white or whatever the option is. But that's one of the options. Now with the performance package, like I said, you get these 19-inch wheels, which are very cool. I like the way they look. I really like those oversized brakes, which are also part of the performance package I didn't mention, but with those calibers and everything with the N logo on there, that's really cool. You got the N badge on the rear, and you can see on the rear also that there's LED taillights. If you go up to the front, I really like the front end of the car, the way that it is designed. It has a big grille with an N logo up there, and also it has those LED low beam headlights as well. I'm not sure what the high beams are. I don't think they're high beam LEDs because on their window sticker it says LEDs are low beam. Now as far as the actual quality of the design, you might ask, is it a refined look? I don't know. For me it looks a little bit less sophisticated than something like the Civic, whether it's the SI or the Type R or something like that, which has a lot more brand recognition. Perhaps that makes me a little biased because I know about the brand, but like I said, if I got the Veloster N, I feel like the red color is the best one to go with. I feel like that's a more refined look because it's more cohesive. And overall, though, I think it's a really cool car. It's definitely a hot hatch, and it definitely looks cool. Also, if you consider the price tag, it's so much cheaper than Type R. And if you consider the SI, it's so much more capable than that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Go check out the interior, which I think is so much better as a cohesive design than the exterior is, especially in this car. I'm not sure what the other interior color options are, but I really like the subtle blue accents, like the blue seatbelts, which I guess aren't very subtle, but they're the only big thing like that that are just like bright blue and different. And it goes well because it has little blue touches with the N buttons on the steering wheel. And the back seats are cramped because I had to push that seat all the way back, pretty much all the way back. So it, it works a little bit. I feel like that seat has some space for somebody, maybe not for me, because with the manual you have to make sure the seat is perfect for the clutch pedal and all that stuff, which I don't think this car has an automatic option, by the way. As far as the front goes, there are a lot of cheap plastics and stuff like that, which is to be expected, but also they say somewhat intentional, I suppose.
They kind of want to just keep it simple and focus more on the performance of the vehicle, suspension of the vehicle, the exterior and engine details is what they focus on.
Because it's a puristic design, like I said, they don't really, go too far with everything. They want to keep this a track-focused, performance-focused car. So, but I still think that the touch points where it matters, like the steering wheel, are beautiful. And little things like the shift light indicator are really cool. So, I'm not in it right now, but imagine I was. I don't know why I'm looking around my car. This is a Hyundai Tucson. 2010. It's not the new exciting N model like the Veloster is, but anyway, I do think that it's a really nice interior car. The interior of that car is very nice. The bucket seats are actually surprisingly comfortable. I'm 5'9", so you can imagine sitting there. I still had room to push the seat back. I had to push it a little bit forward to be able to depress the clutch pedal all the way down. So a little more room than 5'9", and I didn't notice any issues with headroom. So that is the interior.
I think if you go in here, you have to...
There it is, I see. So custom.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. So you gotta do all that stuff.
Nice, okay. That exhaust sound, there you go. That's pretty awesome. 4+, it's already in the exhaust.
Yeah, so go ahead and let it a little go see.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That was a lot more than I expected, the crackles and pops and everything. You know, the Supra, they're really doing that, pushing that a lot. And it's, you know, kind of comes to a point, like, when is it too much, you know?
Exactly.
Like, it's synthetic.
It's more of like, you're literally like, it sounds like you're just like, that's the thing. When it sounds like it's popcorn. You know,
yeah.
I don't know, especially coming out of, because all the new BMWs have it too. Like
Right.
the M2 35s, they all have that non-stop crackles. They tried to keep it as sporty as like more of a race car. So
Right.
they kept it really simple.
That's cool. It is very simplistic.
Yeah.
That's true. Good
And
point.
it does have this. It's nice. It's got the Apple CarPlay and all that stuff.
Yeah, nice quality, everything. That's for
I
sure.
like how the seatbelts are blue. It's pretty badass.
That is really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. It's a good quality interior, that's for sure. I have that 2010 Hyundai Tucson,
Oh, you do?
and it's older. Oh yeah, you can see that right there. I didn't notice it. The light's on the
Yeah,
top.
the light flashes.
That's what I didn't see. So we're gonna turn right on 7.
Yeah, just go straight up.
Straight ahead.
Yeah, straight. We're gonna go straight.
Very good braking and steering. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Really direct, even under braking. You know.
Yeah, they've got some oversized front rotors, so I think they're about 15 inches.
Yeah. I think what I want to see is, you know, if this one has the LSD, how it accelerates around this turn under throttle. That'll be good to know. Steering feel was really good even under throttle, and I was probably right in the power band right there, right in the peak, because you know it's about to hit the rev limiter, or what is that, shift point light?
Yeah, the shift point,
Yeah, so right in the power band at the peak of it, turning full throttle, didn't notice any issues with grip, and that, I mean, not just tire grip, but mechanical.
Yeah.
Wasn't holding us back with the LSD. It looks like it was able to rotate.
And they have also, they got low battery, 10%.
So good, you can just hit the click.
Yeah, they put summer tires on these, so.
The way the car is as an experience to drive is just exciting overall. Let's talk about the steering first, because, you know, I just kind of subtly thought about steering and the car immediately went to the left. I had to resynchronize my thoughts. I had to calibrate my thoughts, because it's like a very minor input on the steering wheel will immediately turn the car, which is nice, but definitely different than this Tucson I'm in right now. And the brakes, I also almost hit my head on the steering wheel with how much the braking was. I just really had to like readjust all of my senses when I got into this vehicle, because it's very, very responsive. Now again, you might be saying, well, of course, you just got out of a 10-year-old Hyundai Tucson with almost 100,000 miles. So, you know, the steering inputs and the braking inputs on that are going to be vastly different. But I'm telling you, I've driven a lot of different cars in my experience, and this one is very responsive. And it's a notable amount of responsiveness, which is obviously dedicated to this car because it is the N model, which is a standalone performance brand. So you definitely get that feeling of being in a performance car, which is focused exclusively on that main key point. Also, as I mentioned, something just really cool is that shift light feature. It's not on the steering wheel or anything like that, but it's up there in the gauge cluster, and it's a really cool look. So, you know, definitely that's cool because it gives you the whole experience of being in a performance car. How many times can I say performance in this video? Because I'm sure I said it a lot. Also, the person I was with, the business development manager, he was there with me and giving me a lot of commentary along the way. Very fun experience, easy to work with him, and that was fun. Now, the manual transmission was very easy to use. The clutch pedal had like a zone in there where it was designed to keep your leg prepared to be at the catch point for the clutch so you could shift. It was just very easy all around. So as an experience of driving, it's easy and it's fun and it's responsive. So I would definitely recommend it if you're interested and you're really considering it, like go ahead and drive it. All right, so what are my final thoughts on this whole experience with this vehicle? I would say that if you're comparing this, like if you're shopping for a Civic Type R or you're shopping for this, they're very difficult to compare in one way that, you know, they're very different in price. One's almost $40,000 and one you could probably get for under $30,000. Actually, you definitely can get it for under 30. It just depends if you want that limited slip differential and all that. I would say to compare the two, you would definitely have to go for the performance package in the Hyundai. But it's obvious that Hyundai is staying true to their brand values of being the more simple, affordable choice. And I think that there are many reasons to go for the Civic Type R as far as it being more refined, more sophisticated, having that brand recognition. But the affordability and just like the simple focus on performance that the Veloster N offers is probably the more important reason for most people. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, and you actually did, then I'm gonna ask you for real this time to please like the video and subscribe, because 2020 is a new year and I'm gonna have a whole bunch more content like this. And anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.